Hi everybody, this is Loren Ludwig. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a terrific knot for making frets on the viola da gamba. There are some videos out there with a different knot than the one I'm about to show, the sort of common knot that's used, but I find that this knot is much quicker to tie. You can end up with much tighter frets and it's much easier on your hands. So I've completely switched over to using this knot. Charlie Ogle showed me this one. It's an adaptation of a lute fret knot, but we're going to make a double fret today, as is commonly used on gambas, rather than a single fret, a single strand fret, which is what's used on lutes. So I've got the tools that I'm going to use: a pair of pliers, a lighter, and some kind of nail clippers. Take your pick. And I've got my viola da gamba neck here, as it were, that it's easier to see. So here's a piece of old string, which is what I tie frets out of. The first thing to do is to make yourself a bend, and then twist the bend and pull the tip through. And what you end up with is a kind of figure-8 looking thing like that. Sometimes you have to jimmy with it a little to end up with this, but this is a good example of what you're starting with. Now, imagine you're wrapping the neck of your instrument. Obviously, this is going to be more complicated with strings on. You're going to have to kind of thread this tip underneath the strings like this. And what you'll end up with is kind of two strands wrapped around the neck. And take your free end and chase it through the same way that the end that's already part of the figure-8 goes through. So you end up with two strands parallel. And once you've got it through and secure, grab your pliers, and you're going to take the first end, and just kind of pull your figure-8 as tight as you can. When this is wrapped around an instrument, that's actually much easier to do, because you can kind of brace it against the neck while you're holding the instrument. But here it is. So now it's nice and tight, and now we need to kind of take the slack out, position things properly. Now, if this were a real viola da gamba neck, we'd be finagling exactly where the two strands lie. You're going to want to position the spot where they cross as far away from where you're going to be playing as possible. So I usually put that opposite the lowest strings of the instrument, on the opposite side of the neck. And you can see, there it is, it's kind of right. You can see there's the cross. If you have a double fret, there's going to be, the laws of physics determine that the strands will have to cross at some point. So I put the cross kind of next to the knot. And again, imagine your top string runs here and your bottom string runs here. This is the front of the fingerboard. So now we've got our situation positioned here nicely. I like the way things are lying. I might just give this another little pull. It's key that this figure-8 section is nice and tight. Now here's the magic of this. Take your other end and pull it away from the direction of the knot. And as you pull, you'll see that it locks. It's kind of a self-locking thing. And this is already extremely tight, probably tighter than you'd want. But the great thing about tying this knot, you can see how quick that was, is that just give it a pull and you end up with something that's very tight. Now, to finish the knot, what I'll do is I'll just chop it off. I usually give it about, I'm going to call that a quarter, maybe an eighth of an inch from where the knot is. And now we're going to use a lighter to just heat up those ends and kind of lock the knot by making the gut expand there as part of the knot. When you do the fire part of it, you're going to want to position your viol so that the flame is pointing away from the instrument. So you have to kind of be a little careful with that, but that's the standard procedure for getting a knot to lock. And viols it's not about to catch on fire underneath your hands. So there we go, a super tight, easy to tie, quick to tie, easy on the hands, alternate way of tying viola da gamba fret knots.